these questions will not be submitted in advance to anyone. There is no rebuttal. There will be a 15-minute period for audience questions for the candidates. All audience questions will be submitted in writing in advance and must be one sentence. The moderator will read the questions to the candidate. There will be a 2-minute reply time. Each candidate will have the opportunity for a 2-minute closing statement. The timekeeper will give a 30 and 10-second reminder warning during the forum. Okay, so I will would the two candidates come on up? Bob and Dale.
Testing.
Works. Dale, I'll give you this microphone.
I think I'm wired.
Oh, you're wired? Yeah. Never mind. Okay. So, question number one, and we'll start off with Dale.
Are we going to do the 3-minute opening?
Oh, shit.
Hey, Tanya.
I think I'm the only one here that's nervous. Yes, if Dale, you'd like to start off with your 3 minutes?
Sure. Good evening. My name is Dale Trigg. I'm a candidate for district attorney. I want to give a little bit of background. I was born in LA, grew up in Orange County. My dad's an LA County deputy, so I've had law enforcement in my blood from the very beginning. Moved to Missouri, and that's where I went to college and law school. After law school, I started at the Springfield, Missouri District Attorney's Office. There's a third largest county in the state. We had 25 attorneys on our staff, and I was promoted after a few months past people with more experience than I had to be on the felony drug team. I was one of 2 prosecutors, and between the 2 of us, we carried 40% of the felony caseload in our county. So I have a considerable amount of experience in trial dealing with drug cases. Guess I'm out. Okay. Since that time, I've been practicing law, consistently handling criminal cases. I've largely done criminal defense. I lived in Montana for 8 years. I had my own law practice there where I focused on criminal defense. I was also a judge for 2 years. So I've presided over criminal cases both as a prosecutor and as a defense attorney and as a judge. So I've seen these cases from all perspectives. My wife and I decided to move here in December of 2012. My wife's Canadian. I grew up in Orange County.
That fixed the problem, but maybe we can't hear me now.
We need Dean.
I talk fairly loud. Can everybody hear me? Is that all right?
Yeah.
Is that all right? Okay. My wife and I decided to move here in December of 2012. We like a small community. This was a perfect fit for us. It fits our lifestyle, the things that we like to do, the quality of life that we want to have. We have a 19-month-old daughter. We have a daughter that was born 2.5 weeks ago here in our local hospital. My little girls are why I want to run for district attorney. As the chief law enforcement officer of the county, the district attorney is in a unique position to make sure that you all in the community are protected. I'm focusing on my campaign on 3 central themes. Number 1, putting away the serious and violent offenders. There's a statute in California that requires the district attorney not to negotiate on cases that involve serious and violent felonies unless the evidence falls apart. So if the evidence is there, they should be prosecuted and shouldn't be dealt down. Those people should go to state prison, not locked down in our local county jails. Number 2, domestic violence. We are number 1 in the state, all 58 counties, number 1 in the state of California in domestic violence calls per capita. We have 8 times the state average. That is unacceptable. And I'm going to renew focusing on domestic violence issues. Too often, abusers are rewarded for trying to coax their victims into recanting, changing their story. I'm going to discontinue that practice. Third, renewing a partnership with law enforcement. I am the only candidate here who's been endorsed by both the Crescent City Police Officers Association and by the Del Norte Sheriff's Officers Association They want me to be their partner in fighting crime and protecting you all, and I hope you make the same choice. Thank you.
Hello?
Should I use the microphone? Yeah. I'd rather not use it. Can everybody hear me? You'll need it. I'll need it? Yes. I'm Bob Drossel, candidate for district attorney. I'm about leadership, experience, dedication. I do have a passion for the DA's job. And yes, I will provide stability long-term for the DA's office. I've been a resident for 17 years, former district attorney in Del Norte County. Some of you probably remember, I've been here a while. The last time there was no negative personal drama in the DA's office was when I was a DA. I will raise the leadership bar and the performance bar. I will see that the DA staff buys into my mission statement. And what is that mission statement? It is to professionally, aggressively, and timely investigate and prosecute cases with the goal to achieve justice for victims. And I'm all about victims' rights and receiving justice for victims. That's why I do the job, and I think many career prosecutors do the job to achieve justice for victims. The meat of that mission statement comes from how I define some of those words. For example, to be professional, you start out doing the job legally and ethically. I believe that the hallmark factors for any law enforcement position or DA position is to be honest and credible in the job. Very important aspect, starting point. To be professional, we're going to do the job in a business-like manner. We're going to have some humanity, that is, a caring for those caught in the unfortunate circumstances of being a victim. And we're going to achieve justice for the victims. As a leader, I will stand tall. I will lead by example. And I will make sure that justice is served. My mission statement covers all aspects of crimes across the board. Street crimes, Pelican-based state crimes. We do have a lot of correctional officers in our community. It's very important to provide for their safety and to make sure that the inmates understand that there's no free ride and there's going to be some penalties. I will provide, my mission statement provides for safety across the board for the community and justice for victims. I can get the job done because I have been a career prosecutor for 20 years, former district attorney, deputy DA, supervising deputy DA, assistant DA in charge of South Lake Tahoe DA's office and DA of Del Norte County. I have a very unique package and I can get the job done. Thank you.
So now we're going to get on to our first question. Dale, we'll start with you. What do you see as the most critical crises we are facing in Del Norte County today in regards to criminal/unlawful behavior?
Is this working? No. Turn on.
Turn up.
Straight up. How's that? Okay. I think that the number one problem that we're facing with the criminal justice system in our county can be summarized in a single word, and that word is accountability. There's not much of that anymore. Too many cases are being resolved through plea agreements, through negotiating charges down. We have new sentencing structure in California that took effect a couple of years ago that's requiring a lot of nonviolent offenders to do local county time. Often they're released early, often they're released on supervision. So they're right back in our community a lot sooner than they have been in the past. And I think that is in part a result of the prosecution's decision to how to handle certain cases. A lot of these cases shouldn't be pled down the way that they are, that would
allow people to get out of our local county jail as soon as they are. So I think the single biggest problem is a lack of accountability.
Okay, Dale, excuse me, Bob.
Thank you. I believe that a big problem, a crisis in Del Norte County is meth. It has been for some time and will continue to be. It's a nasty, vicious industry, and it leads to many other crimes. For example, flop houses in neighborhoods where people use and trade drugs, trade stolen property. People who are hooked on meth, their life goes down the toilet, so does their family, involving domestic violence abuse, abuse to children, and generally those toxic chemicals in the house, health and safety problems. Health and safety problems for the community. It's a constant problem for business regarding trespass, bad checks, vandalism, and the like. It generally drives good business people away, and it's a constant problem for law enforcement and the community. It requires a tremendous amount of community service with lacking, and there's basically a lack of funding. And as we know, some of those services involve rehab houses, recovery houses, counselors, and that's not even talking about the inmate beds that are needed, along with the other impacts on the criminal justice system. As DA, I will be aggressive in this arena, and I will help find solutions along with other community leaders to take care of this nasty, vicious problem we have. Thank you.
Okay, Dale, this next question for you. What are your past experiences in dealing with cases involving civil, criminal, and family law cases?
I have considerable experience in criminal law primarily, which reflects the caseload in our county. Most of the cases that are litigated in our courts are criminal cases, and that's where my percentage of experience lies. However, I do have considerable experience in civil law as well. I've handled personal injury prosecution cases,